14 WILI and 95.3 FM presents Hometown Threads, a closer look at our community and the people that make it go. Every week, you'll hear uplifting stories from our local businesses and our neighbors. Now, here's our host for Hometown Threads, Keith C. Rice.
All right, here we go. Episode 16 of Hometown Threads. Wow, Hometown Threads can actually drive now. It's its learner's permit. 16th episode, and of course Hometown Threads comes your way every Tuesday on the radio on 14 WILI 95.3 FM and Wednesdays and throughout the week, pinned atop the page of Willimantic Today Facebook. Thank you all who are watching on Willimantic Today and listening on the radio. And Hometown Threads, I would like to thank our sponsor, Liberty Bank. Brought to you by Liberty Bank. Be community kind with 3 local locations. Of course, Gateway Commons, West Main Street, Willimantic, Marion Gargoni, your manager over there. You got right across the street from the radio station, 679 Main Street, Willimantic. Hello to Angela Smart. And Kerry Small, the manager at the Liberty Bank on Route 195 in Mansfield. Big thanks to Liberty Bank. Be community kind. Hometown Threads. Here we go, episode 16, and it's a pleasure welcoming an old friend, Sebi Randazzo. Not Randazzo. As long as I've known this guy, I had to confirm that it's Randazzo, not Randazzo.
Yeah.
Because I just call him Seb or Sebi, you know? So, great to have you here.
Thanks, Keith. Thanks for having me.
Big name in the community. Couldn't wait to get you in here. And I don't even know where to start because, you know, you're a legendary wrestler at Wyndham High. We grew up together.
Yeah.
And, of course, Seb used to come in. I'd record his commercials back when him and his family owned Wyndham Wine and Spirits.
And Columbia Package
Store. Yep. And we'll get into all that as well. But Sebi, tell us, let's start the early days of Sebi and growing up here in Willimantic, Wyndham area. And, just tell us, give us a rundown on the early days of Sebi Randazzo.
Yeah, sure. So it started, way back. My dad was an immigrant from Italy. They moved over here in the early 60s. Settled in the Hartford area, and then he just started working his way east, buying properties, buying houses and stuff. He was an entrepreneur, and he came across Columbia Package Store one day. It was for sale, and it had 2 apartments upstairs. So he bought the building and the business with it. That was 1982.
Now this is over, let's just remind people, across the street from, I always forget the
Columbia Manufacturing.
Okay.
Yeah,
right there.
Right the intersection.
Exactly.
Yeah. Leventis used to be
That's
in that
right,
plaza.
Leventis, of course.
Yeah.
So your dad spotted that building, and that's where, did he own a business? That was his first business he owned, right?
Yeah, that was
when
the
he
first
came
business.
to the area?
Yeah, he used to basically do house renovations, and he was a meat cutter by trade. That's what he did
Gotcha.
first.
So,
yeah.
okay, so 1982, I was 10, and we just figured, I kept thinking you were a class of 90 like me. He's actually 2 years younger than me, I apologize.
Yeah.
Joe, your brother, is actually my age.
Yeah, Joe's 90, yeah.
So I made you 8, right? If I was 10, your father started the business at Columbia Package Store, right? Did he start it at 82, or you got the building in 82?
No, it was already a running liquor store. It was owned by Roger and Doris Gamache. Yeah, and they had it for 15, 18 years before we bought it.
I didn't know your family actually ran the package store back in 82. I thought this happened when you and I were in middle school or high school.
No. I was 8 years old, yeah.
So you were behind the counter at age 11?
Yeah.
Were you really?
I always had the odd jobs, cleaning, recyclables, putting the rings on the 6-pack beers, making...
So you were working there at an early age?
Yeah. My dad...
How old were you when your father stuck in there?
When we bought it, 8 years old.
Oh, so, wow, I was
8
joking.
Years old. We were in there. We're going to school during the day, playing soccer in the afternoons, and... working at night.
You and Joe were both in there?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Wait, am I missing another Randazzo?
Yeah, my younger brother, Paulie.
Oh,
so
Paulie.
he was real young at the time. He was born 79, so he would have been 4 or 5 years old.
Sorry, Paulie. I just knew, I know Sebi and Joe. I never met Paulie, actually.
Yeah.
So you guys were all involved?
Yeah, so we lived upstairs, so it was kind of convenient for my parents that we were just... Hey, we're working until 8 o'clock, so everyone comes downstairs, and we just we'd work and we'd do our homework down there.
What was it like living up there? It's almost like what Angelo at Tony's is doing lives with his mother at Tony's Pizza.
I mean, as a kid, it was really cool, and then in high school was even better.
Wow! So you guys lived there in high school as well?
Yeah, we kind of bounced around. We did. My dad bought houses still, so we would buy a house, fix it up. We'd move into it. He'd fix it up, and then we'd move back to the apartments.
So, because eventually, didn't you live in Columbia at one point?
Yeah.
You're-
I graduated high school in '92, got married in '95, and then I took the package store over from my dad in '98.
Oh, so you took it over in '98.
Yeah,
Okay, now
bought it.
this is where
Yeah.
I remember this because I bounced around from the radio station a few times. I moved and came back a few times as well. And I remember when Seb, what year was that? Seb would come in and record those commercials. That had to be, I want to think it was between 2004 and 2007. During that time, I was back.
Yeah.
Because I'd see you almost on a monthly basis, I guess.
Yeah, we used to record
Yeah,
every month.
well,
Yeah.
and Sebi would bang those out on one take. Wyndham Wine and Spirits,
Yeah.
Columbia Package Store.
Yeah.
So okay, so you guys are excuse me, you guys are running the one in Columbia.
Yeah.
And what year did you buy the one on Main Street, William?
And then it was 2009. Yeah,
from Giordano, right?
Yeah, from Al Giordano.
Tell
Yeah.
Alan Giordano, former
Yeah.
Giordano. So I had to do it. It's an inside joke there. Giordano, Alan, who lives on the Cape now, I think.
Yeah.
Former talk show host here on the Republic Forum Thursdays on WILI. Matt remembers Alan as well. We all do it. So I say, well, he's a funny guy. So anyway, tell us how. Well, you had Columbia Package Store all those years. How did your dad come across? Alan was just looking to sell. How'd that all go down?
Yeah, so a combination of things. The real estate market, which my dad and my brother were pretty heavily involved in. We had another business called Randazzo Associates at the time. We did like house building and land developing. As you all know, the market started to go down there 2007, 2008. And so Joe and Paul, my dad, Paul, started looking for other opportunities.
Yeah.
And so this store came for sale, and so my dad and my brother said, "Hey, why don't we jump into another liquor store and kind of join forces with Sebi?" And so 2009, the three of us ended up buying Wyndham Wine and Spirits.
Wow, you guys must have been so excited when that went down.
Yeah, that was great.
So
Yeah.
how long was Al? I'm trying to remember this because where was I in '98? I think I was living in the Hartford area, but I'm trying to remember. Was Al? Did he have it for sale for a while, or did you guys?
No, he hadn't even advertised that it was for sale. It was
okay.
it was just more of a, we heard through the grapevine that he had opened it but didn't really want to run it, wasn't into it as much, and was really looking to, kind of start the business and then sell it. So we approached him and struck a deal.
Sebi Randazzo's with us, from Columbia Package Store, of course, Wyndham Wine and Spirits for years, and now the Fish Market as of 2 years. And I want to come back to some of the liquor stores in a second, but along with the Fish Market, which you took over 2 years ago, we'll get into that as well. I know 25 minutes goes by like that. Tell us what you do on a 9 to 5. I had no idea about this. What do you do on a 9 to 5 basis besides, because the Fish Market is closed on Mondays, but what do you do during the week? What's your other business?
Yeah, so we, my brothers and I in 2014 started a company called Randazzo Timber and Stone, and it's we'll do like land clearing, timber harvesting, and also excavation. We'll do house sites. We can put in septic systems, driveways, retaining walls.
And the name of the business again is?
Randazzo Timber and Stone.
All right, and how can they get a hold of you there?
You can reach us on Facebook or my number 860-617-4877.
All right, and how long have you been doing that again?
It's 2014.
Wow, okay.
Yeah,
And
so that's my Monday through Friday 9 to 5 job.
Yeah.
And then the Fish Market is closed on Mondays, but then Tuesday to Saturday, and then the weekends. But I'm usually there just nights and weekends.
Okay.
Yeah.
And because your brothers help out with the Fish Market. as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. The three of us are
I've
all
seen
in
that,
all
yeah.
of all the companies. The three of us, Joe and Polly.
The times I've been there, I'm walking in there going, I wonder if I'll see Sebi, and I've seen your brothers. And
Yeah.
I don't know if Joe remembers me. I think I've introduced myself, and I wouldn't have recognized Paulie. I don't know because I don't think I've ever, as I said, I'm not sure if I've come across Paulie. But, all right, so the Fish Market, that's going well. And then...
Great.
And
Yeah.
back to the liquor store for a second. So when it's time to, and we're talking with Sebi Randazzo on Hometown Threads, brought to you by Liberty Bank, Be Community Kind. Just throw that in there.
Thank you.
When it comes time to take over the liquor store on Main Street, tell us what it was like moving into that. Was there, it already was a liquor store. I'm sure you didn't
Yeah,
have to
it
do
was-
that much, right?
Yeah, my dad had pretty much just gotten tired of it. He had run it for 15 years, and him and my mom were just kind of getting out of it, and thinking, all right, well, Sebi's going to go off to college, and then we're gonna be running this liquor store for another 15 years.
Was
And
college
so-
ever in the cards with you at one point?
It was, yeah. I had that opportunity when I graduated high school in '92. Then I went to Campbell University for just a semester.
Did you?
Down in North Carolina? Yeah, yeah.
Ah.
I went on a wrestling scholarship.
Big wrestler, Wyndham, too. Were
yeah,
you all
yeah.
state at one point?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a two-time class champ, two-time state champ,
at this, look at this.
second New England. Yeah,
Wow.
back in the '90s.
Wow,
Yeah.
how about that? Yeah, I knew. That's right, because I have a cousin, Jeff Bennett, who was a very good wrestler as well.
Yep.
And Jeff was
Good
like
wrestler.
a couple years ahead of you.
Sure.
But you guys were on the same team at one point, right?
Yeah, same team. Yeah, we won a lot of class champs together. Yeah.
Wyndham, tell you, stacked wrestler. We got to get Crudden on here, Coach Crudden.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, you suggested
He's
him.
a
I
local
was like,
legend.
absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so you've taken
So-
over the liquor store from your parents on Main Street.
Yeah, so I come back in '93, and then just kind of worked with my dad for a couple years, and then he was getting a little bit more serious about selling it, and I said, why don't we just keep it in the family, and I'll take it over. So he ended up selling it to me.
And then you took it, so that was 93.
No, I worked there for 5 years, so it was '98.
Oh, that's
when I
right,
took it
98,
over from
you
my
took it
dad.
over.
Yeah.
What was it like taking over from your dad? Retired from there, or he just?
No,
or he
him
going-
and Joe kept the construction business going, Randazzo Associates at that time, but then we're also looking for other opportunities, which is when Wyndham Wine and Spirits came in, but it was like 10 years later, 2009.
Okay,
Yeah.
so did you guys ever run into any troubles, or you must have some stories that
Yeah,
there were
liquor
times.
store-
There's got to be people that come in there. You must have, not that you have to tell specific stories,
Yeah,
but I'm
yeah.
sure you guys have had your share of issues.
Oh, we sure have. Yeah, yep. I mean, you're dealing with alcohol, so you have people that drink too much, people that take it too far,
Yeah.
and then also you have theft and robbery, because it seems to be an easy target. Yeah.
How many times did that happen? Where you had somebody, or
Theft occurred pretty much on a weekly basis.
oh my god,
Yeah. Robbery only twice, thankfully. Yeah. Thankfully, yeah.
So as far as financially, though, everything you guys probably did on being at that Main Street store, even Columbia Package Store. That's a
Yeah.
heavy traffic area.
It was
so
great businesses. But made good money there. Really, the main reason that we got out, which we sold Columbia in 2014, and we sold Wyndham Wine and Spirits 2019.
right.
And the reasons we got out, mainly the laws changed so much not in our favor with as the owners, where like Sunday sales came into play, and then, which is great for the consumer, right? It was.
Now, this
So
is
you
kind
can-
of stuff that turned you guys off.
yeah, it kind of turned me away from the industry.
Really?
Sunday sales was the big one, because really it didn't increase our business a dime. Not
But it
one
meant
dime.
more work for you guys.
But more work, right? More work.
And I was about
pe-
to ask you why you got out of it.
People
yeah.
said, you don't have to open on Sunday, but then you're not a player in the game anymore. So either you got to do it, and you need to be open 7 days a week like everyone else,
Yeah.
or you just don't do it. So we kind of fizzled out.
Really? Because I was about to ask you why you got out, and that's an interesting thing. I never knew that when it did go 7 days, that you had the option to open or not.
You have the option, sure.
But that was one of the main reasons why you got. What were some of the other reasons why you decided
Yeah,
to pull
that,
out?
and then the extended hours.
Yeah.
They had talked about, first 9 o'clock. Now they're at 10 o'clock. Now they're talking legislation about maybe like 1 o'clock in the morning. or
Are they really
something
talking about that
Some
now?
other states, yeah.
Wow.
So I feel like I got out at the right time.
What if they start doing that for like the fish market and seafood stores, staying up until 1 a.m.? No, I'm kidding. But I could see how that could be, because I was always wondering, you guys did so well at both those stores, and then one day I found out, Sebi, they took over the fish market? I'm like,
Yeah.
what happened to liquor stores? So it's kind of interesting how, I could see why, it puts a lot of pressure on you guys.
Yeah.
To do
Yeah,
that,
and the
but-
extended hours and the
I'm sure- you got a lot of good years
days and
there.
stuff. Yeah, I mean, so 98, to 1982 to we had until 2014.
Well, then
Yeah,
2019 with the other one.
And then 2019 with Wyndham Wine and Spirits. Yeah.
So let's get to that point now as we continue on with Sebi Randazzo here on Hometown Threads. It's 2019. You're done with the liquor stores.
Yeah.
Both of them. How's the fish market come into play? Like, what did you guys have a plan? You already have the Randazzo business going.
Yeah.
How did the fish market, come into play?
Well, so my brother Joe and Polly and I, we're kind of like, entrepreneurs like my dad was, where we look for that business in town, something local that we can run to stay attached to the community and kind of still be involved. And so when we sold in 2019, we said, took a couple year hiatus and said, let's just, let's see what comes our way. Maybe there'll be opportunities. And we approached the Hussies who own the fish market, and said, if you guys are ever interested in selling, we're looking to buy. And so they came back to us a few months later and said, yeah, let's talk.
A few months.
Yep.
That's it.
So, yeah.
Were there, along with the Hussies, were there any, as you guys were looking around, were there any other businesses that you guys approached and said, look, kind of like you did with the Hussies?
No, that was our first one.
Yeah,
that was
you
our
had your
first
eyes
one.
on the fish market.
Yeah,
huh? Interesting.
yeah.
It's a popular store.
It's so
popular place.
so great. They did an awesome job establishing that restaurant.
How long did they run
fish
it for?
market? They were there for 16 years.
Was it?
Yeah.
And who owned it before them? Do you remember?
No, they started.
Oh,
it.
they started.
They
okay.
started it. Yeah.
We all know the fish market. Let's have the address is what on Main Street? It's
1308 Main Street.
1308
So
Main Street.
In the same parking area as like the gym there, Planet
Right,
Fitness
Planet
and
Fitness,
Edwin's
right.
and
Yeah.
Moe's.
Yeah, that boy, I remember. You probably remember this back when we were growing up. I'll even go back further because I know I'm a little older than you. It was Medimart. You remember Medimart? Probably not. I was a baby.
No.
Walgreens, right? If I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken.
Oh, yeah,
It was Walgreens.
Yeah.
What else is in there?
Was it Burger Chef or a burger? The actual building that we're in was a burger spot,
Yeah.
and then it was a Chinese restaurant.
Oh my God,
for
that's
a long
right.
time.
I moved away for a while, so
Yeah.
it's kind of a little blurry for me. And then I'll go back. Really going to date myself here. I think it was the original Stop and Shop was in the. Well, I know they kind of remodeled everything there. Kind of where Moses. That's where the original Stop and Shop was.
Yeah,
So, and
that
then-
side of it.
Right, that
Yeah.
side of it.
Moe's
So
in the dollar store.
that's when we were really young. That was
Yeah.
the original Stop and Shop, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, in Wyndham Wine and Spirits, that building was KFC.
That's right. Yes,
Yeah,
KFC.
yeah.
Which, little side story, I think I've told the story before. My father, when I was like 15, 16 years old, was trying to show me, he meant well, that there was more to life besides radio. So he takes me down to KFC. Again, I was like 15 or 16. He gets me a 3-day trial shift. Matt knows this story. And I'm like, why? All right, okay. On the second day, it has nothing to do with the people working there. I was miserable. I turned to my father and I go, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
I think he meant well, but I was like, I don't want to work. That's why I have such a deep appreciation. People that can will deal with customer service, can stock shelves or that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I just didn't want to do that. I knew Wayne Norman hired me in high school, and then anyway, that's the KFC story.
KFC story. That's
It always
awesome.
comes back to it.
Yeah.
Okay, another question I have about the liquor store and the fish market. We'll start with the liquor stores. What was the big? I know you probably have. You can think of a ton of things. What flew off the shelves the most at the liquor store?
At the liquor store.
Yeah, you
So
can
when
remember.
I started back in '98, like the Bud Heavy original Budweiser was probably our biggest seller.
Really?
That was our
Well,
biggest
Budweiser
seller.
was still hot back then. Yeah.
And nowadays, that younger generation, 21 to 35, kind of, they're more into
IPAs?
they're more into that hoppy stuff, that craft beer. So I don't think I could name one specifically because today's shopper is not loyal to a brand like they used to be back then.
true,
Where
very
like
true.
my grandfather would come in and buy his Schaefer, and, and
Milwaukee's old Milwaukee.
then Pabst Blue Ribbon,
Yes.
and although that has made a comeback.
Has it? Yeah, PBR.
PBR's come back. Yeah, but
What's Sebi drink these days? If you guys like, what do you?
I'm
what,
into
what,
the good hoppy
hoppy-
IPAs.
Me too.
Yeah.
I gave up alcohol for Lent.
Too juicy,
Yes.
counterweight. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll still drink like Sam Adams Boston
I was
Lager.
about
One
to
of my
say.
favorite.
I love saying
Yeah, and
that.
they just remastered it, so it
Yeah.
tastes a little different, but it's great. It's still one of my go-tos. Yeah,
Oh man.
yeah.
Sebi Randazzo, episode 16 here on Hometown Threads. What
Yeah.
flies off the shelf? Well, not really a shelf at the fish market, but what's the most?
Our cooler
Yeah.
showcase, yes. So
There's a shelf, the cooler showcase.
The Faroe Island salmon is probably our number one. Yeah. It is a farmed product, but it's organic. It's raised in their own environment, and it gets shipped into us every 48 hours.
Wow.
And it's awesome. That's probably our number one. Our Stonington sea scallops, 10-20 count, are probably second. And then our cocktail shrimp, 16-20 cocktail shrimp that we cook, we make right there.
Really?
At the shop. Yeah.
Is that
So
something?
those
Did the
three.
Hussies do that too? Like you just mentioned, you cook and all
They
that.
did.
They did.
They did.
I
Yeah.
know nothing
Yeah.
about this kind of.
Yeah, they
seafood.
started it all. Yeah.
Wow.
But right, the fish market also does cook. We have a kitchen in there, so we'll do fish and chips, lobster rolls.
Right, Lent,
Yeah.
fish and chips.
Yeah. This is
I'm
actually
sure-
a busy time of year for
I was
us.
about to say, you guys.
Fridays are crazy in the kitchen. Yeah.
So, how many staff members you got there? How many employees at the fish market? Go ahead, name them off if you want.
During Lent, we have probably, I think there's 8 that are working on a Friday. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, my brother Joe, my brother Paulie, my mom Rose, Paul Butterfield's our manager, Rob Burgess is our assistant manager, Alicia is one of our front counter help. We have Sean who helps in front, Josh, Diana, and then the cook in the back is Adam Shafark.
Adam Shafarek.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
Adam Shafarek. Get out of here.
Yeah, his mom has the dentist
Yes,
office
we
in
know
Columbia.
Bernice very well.
Great
She's
family.
on WILI with Wayne first Monday of the month. We know in Bernice because I have a connection with Seroptimus, and Bernice is
Oh, yeah.
Seroptimus as well.
Okay, yeah.
So we know the Shafareks.
Great
yeah.
family.
Oh,
Yeah,
excellent.
wonderful.
Yeah. Stefan and
Adam's-
Bernice. Yeah.
Adam's amazing. He does really well in the
Yeah,
kitchen.
wow,
Yeah.
that's a star-studded staff you got.
Yeah.
Now, what about Ashley? You got to get her in there.
Oh yeah,
she's
Ashby,
your PR person.
She's
though,
my
right?
girl. Yeah, Ash,
She does a great job promoting the fish
Thank
market.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is. She does all our social media. Yeah, she's our PR person.
I tell you, she does a great job promoting, but the fish market doesn't need any promoting. Even though I mean, they speak for themselves.
Thank you.
So, so you're behind the counter exactly. What days? What days can we see Sevy at the fish market?
Friday night, Saturdays, Sundays.
All right.
Yeah. And then we start farmers markets coming up pretty soon here. in
Tell us
May.
about that.
Yeah, farmers market, Ellington Farmers Market, which takes place at Arbor Park in Ellington in the summer. From
Beautiful town. Yeah.
May to October. Yeah, that's Saturday mornings from 9 to noon.
What do you guys do? Go down there and
We actually bring a table with ice, insulated and covered, and we serve our raw fish.
wow,
Fish. Yeah.
I didn't know about this.
Yeah, it's great. They do an excellent job up there in Ellington. Yeah.
So I got to ask you this too. All the years you did the liquor store, and now you've been heavily involved with the fish market. Be honest. Did you ever get tired? You're like, I don't want to see booze anymore. I don't want to see fish anymore. Like, I got to get away from it. No, I'm kidding. It was seafood is like one of my favorites. By the way.
Yeah. So the liquor industry, I loved.
All
I
right.
loved the atmosphere, the social aspect of it, the party planning when people would have weddings or birthdays or just big events or something. They'd come to you and you become a big piece of their party.
You probably have
know?
regulars in there all the time.
And yeah, we had regulars.
I was a regular for a while.
So that part was always fun, and then also like just working with local organizations. They always need to have alcohol served at some event. And so I loved that part of it. And then the relationships with like my salesmen and my drivers and stuff. It was great. I did really enjoy that.
Shout those people out, the drivers. Go ahead.
The
sorry, I didn't
big,
put you on the
yeah,
spot.
I can't
That was a
remember.
long
It's
time
been
ago.
a few years now. Yeah, it's been a few years. But Dave Marino, Breskin Barton, he was one of my salesmen. Dan Barry, Craig Nass, he lived right here in Columbia. He's a good guy. Yeah, just great salesman. And in the fish market, I'm having a lot of fun, but I didn't know a lot about it. I know how to run a business. I know how to manage employees.
Wow.
But the product was so different. I went from a product you could put on the shelf and let it sit for 30 days and not worry about it to a product that in 30 hours you better know what you're doing with it if you don't sell it. Right, because the fish is going to go bad.
So when you and your brothers and your family slid in there, the Hussies have to do they educate you a little?
They gave us
Little
training
transition?
and taught us. Yeah. But Paul, our manager, Paul Butterfield and Rob Burgess, they have been in the industry for years and years. Paul's got 30 years experience in the fish industry, so he's been teaching us still as we're going. This going on our second year, we're still learning.
All right, as we wrap things up, episode 16 of Hometown Threads on WILI, 14 WILI, 95.3 FM, and of course, Willimantic Today Facebook. Anything you want to plug? I know you just mentioned fish and chips. It's a big time of year, Lent, with the fish market. Fish market's huge all year round.
Yeah.
Give us some things you want to plug for the fish market and for the Randazzo business. Go ahead. If you want.
Yeah, this time of year with Lent, our fish and chips, our lobster roll, and then our sea scallops, just great. Good time of year to be having some sea scallops. Yeah, and then I just want to also say thank you to Keith and your mom and dad for putting the show on and for having me on.
Oh,
I
well,
really
thank you.
appreciate it. Yeah,
One of
thank you.
my favorite people of all time in this area. And you got to, I know you used to record your commercials for Wyndham Wine and Spirits in Columbia Package
They
Store.
did, yeah.
When you come in and do a fish market spot, I haven't recorded him for the fish market. I know Matt probably has,
That
right?
sounds good.
Has
No,
Matt-
we haven't done recorded for the fish market yet.
Well,
Your dad's just been doing it for us. Yeah.
Oh, get him off. He's done enough commercials. Get him off. All right, Seb, thank you so much.
Keith, thanks a
for the
lot.
suggestion.
Matt,
Coach,
thank you.
Coach Crudden. We got to get Coach Crudden. Now, who knows? He may be episode 17. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you to Liberty Bank. Be community kind. RJ, the admin team, RJ and the admin team over at Willimantic today. Matt, thank you. J. Matt Rupar. This is Hometown Threads, 14 WILI, 95.3 FM, and Willimantic Today Facebook. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
And that concludes another edition of Hometown Threads. Got a story for Keith? Reach out to him on Facebook by searching Keith C. Rice or email him at krice@hallradio.net. Don't forget to tune in next week on 14 WILI and 95.3 FM, as well as the Willimantic Today page on Facebook.